Hey
Hey,
guys,
hey, hey.
we're back, changing lives.
CLP.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys have had a great start to the year. January is flying by.
Already. What's
I
today?
know. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to Valentine's Day already. So yeah, I know it's flying by. I hope everybody's doing good and doing well, in good health, um, good mental health.
That's
Yep.
important. For sure, for sure. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us again on this episode of CLP Changing Lives 2024. We got a lot of topics to cover this year, and we're excited for you guys to be a part of this journey with us.
I'm excited for this show, being that it's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday coming up here. I don't know if people realize like he would have been 95
Wow.
come Monday. That is amazing. And I don't know if everybody else feel like this. I still look at him in his past life um hour. Like I look at him as when he died, if that makes sense. I,
Like he's
I
still
don't think
present.
I could, yeah, I couldn't picture him 95
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, like we didn't have the opportunity to see him age. Like
Yes.
the last visuals we had of him was back in the '60s when he was
Murdered.
assassinated. Yeah, so
Yes.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I got a few pictures of him up here in my office actually. So one cool picture I have is one that he took with Malcolm X. Interestingly enough, the media, back then, maybe not so much now, but back then they tried to pit them against each other and portray their relationships as torn, and they were enemies because they had different ways of going about, you know, moving this country forward, moving society forward.
Yes.
One was, nonviolence, nonviolence. You know what I mean? We gonna get out. We gonna picket. We're gonna use our voices, our votes to be heard. And then on the other hand, you had, another brother who had the same mission, but his approach was completely different. It was more militant. It was more violent in nature, but it was defensive. You know, the Nation of Islam and Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad and their teachings and what they stood for back then and even still to this day were protection for the black community, and they rarely ever, if ever, I'm not a historian, but they rarely ever resorted to violence as you know, the aggressor. It was always in defense of their community, their people. So this picture it really hits home, especially on this day, this week, this episode. So shout
It's
out to Malcolm
awesome.
X.
It's awesome. We're going to take a picture of it and post it to our IG so you guys can visualize, get a vision of what Marlon is referring to. The picture is absolutely amazing. Also, I want to piggyback on something you said regarding, how society, the government, pent those two, as enemies. That's so still relevant today.
Yep.
We can't do anything in this world without a fight being labeled. We have two good black artists. Oh, they hate each other. Oh, they want to fight each other. No. Let us just, marinate in our craft. Let us be who we are without the fight, and that's something that's still relevant today, whether it's with the black culture, black females. It's very very relevant there, especially being from Chicago, a black woman from Chicago. Majority of my childhood, young adult years, I had to fight. When I say I had to fight, I literally had to fight. That's because of the environment I was in. We were raised that way. Oh, she got on the better shoes. Oh, she got on the better coat. When in fact we're all one. We're all human. We're all black. We just have darker skin. We're not different. That's why I bossed up.
You sure did.
I bossed up to let people know. Just because I have brown skin, don't look at me any less. Because I'm always in my bag. I could stomp with any woman, and that's what I put out to the world, and that's what women, men also, you should be teaching your sons and daughters. Don't settle for less because of the shade of your skin, because this has been going on since day one.
Beginning of time.
Light skin is better, dark skin is bad. Anything black you've ever noticed, from cake, even cake down from cake mix, devil's food cake, because it's black, it's chocolate. It's called devil food cake.
Yeah, words matter.
But the yellow cake,
Oh, it's
what is it?
angels and angel
Angel
food cake.
cake.
How the fuck is this? How are we making these cakes against each other?
Exactly. Everything, the shade of black, the shade of white. And shout out to my white girls. I got some boss white friends, Caucasian girls. They are my friends, and I don't look at them with, oh, your shade is lighter than me, so you're superior. No. And if they ever come at me like that, I dismiss them quick, because I would never do that to anybody. I'm human. Don't get me wrong, I know what it is. I see all the jokes out here. I can go on about this subject for days and days, but I think I kind of went somewhere. I'm gonna
Yeah.
let my
No,
husband
that's
get
cool.
back on
Because
MLK.
now I want to touch on that a little bit too, because set the record straight. We don't discriminate. That's not what we're here
Not at all.
here to portray. We love all people from all walks of life. We're all interconnected. We're all one.
That's the message.
Truly, we all, and society, government, media pins us against each other, but we have far more in common than we do otherwise, right? But I feel like everybody's a victim in this, and I'm not saying, hey, you're victim and you use that victim role, and because in society today, this victim role has been used as a weapon, but the point I'm trying to make here is, like, even non-black people are victims of the script, of the agenda, because
Absolutely.
many of them out here unconsciously and consciously feel that they're more superior because it's been programmed
Yes.
in society. It's like they're victims of the program, and then you have us, black people or people of color, minorities as they deem us here in this country. We are victimized because we're on the other end of that stick. But there's puppet masters up at the top controlling the narrative. At the end of the day, we are all one. We all came from the same place, and we could probably touch on that.
Exactly.
Different
Some of us just got dropped off in different locations,
Yeah,
if you will.
that's it. It was one big plot of land, and then some science happened, and people moved around, but we all from the same place. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you do have those people who don't understand that. So you're hearing it here from CLP. We definitely understand what's been going on. We don't like it, and we're here to set the narrative straight. And you guys can learn from this episode as well if you did not know or understand what's been going on or what's been happening to you. Racism is still very much alive.
Hmm.
It's so relevant in today's world. It's just kind of suppressed
Yep.
or and hidden. I'll say suppressed, hidden, whatever you want to call it. But it's still relevant. And guess who's gonna suffer the most? That's our children, our grandchildren that's growing up in it today. So this is what I tell people around me who have children that's coming up in this generation. Teach them the truth. Teach them who they are, what their bloodline is, because you're not always going to be around to shelter them. They're going to grow up. They're going to get into this world. They're going to understand that they're black and Asian. They're going to understand that they're black and white, black, Hispanic, whatever you want to, black on black, whatever you want to call it. Teach them their roots. This is what we fought so hard for, to know our roots and who we are in this world. So you owe it to your children to let them live, through their bloodline.
Hmm. I like that. That's solid. You know, MLK. MLK. That's how this conversation all kind of kicked off. You know, shout out to MLK.
Yep.
Happy birthday, King. You know, your memory, your legacy lives on forever.
We are forever grateful, and we're going to always continue to fight that fight and support your mission and keep your dream alive. I don't care how we got to do it, but we are, and we always going to push that truth.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in lockstep. You know, and I looked up the Million Man March speech that he gave back on August 28th, 1963 in DC. And I wanted to kind of reflect on that today for this episode, just to kind of, just to hone in on some of that energy that was present then. And energy never dies. You know, it's here with us, forever and always. And one of the lines, a couple of the lines stuck with me. One of the paragraphs looks like the second paragraph. It says, quote, and I quote, but 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity, and it goes on and on. Just kind of speaking on where we were as a people in 1963. And then, you transition or you fast forward to 2024 here, January, and we talk about this often, like, and let me backtrack. So the 100 years later, he's referencing when slavery ended in 1863. So 100 years later, he picked that year purposely. 100 years later, that's where they were in that moment, fighting for change.
Yep.
And here we are, about, what is this, 70 years later ish. And it's an interesting question is, how far have we come?
Yeah.
Like how far have we come? There's a lot of change. There's a lot of positive.
I do see a lot of change amongst the black culture. I do see a lot of change amongst the white culture
Mhm.
and other cultures, more accepting. I want to say more in tune with what's going on with the black brothers and sisters. I do see that. Um, I do see the black culture, man, we are elevated.
in a major way.
We are elevated, which takes me back. We were back home in Chicago for the summer. A lot of people don't know. We were there for a good 6 months, but we had to be low key. Low key as meaning low profile because of who we are. So, I mentioned that because we're not just anybody, and that's how we carry ourselves. We're not, and it's sad, but kind of it's for protection. I'll say we were there for business. We were there to give back. We were there supporting the I Have a Dream. To give back to our families there, our black children there. Um, and I wanted to say, I was very, very impressed with the entrepreneurship there, the black owned businesses, the black men and women out there making a change with the youth programs, just nonprofits, even the daycare centers on every block. Like those centers, those organizations, they provide safety for those children. I don't care if it's 7 hours, 5 hours a day, they are saving lives out there. And they're taking risk on their own lives. I was disappointed also. I was still seeing some things, we hadn't grown in certain areas. I heard couple gunshots. I got into it with a couple people where I felt like I had to defend myself, and I'm just not used to living like that anymore. So, yeah, Chicago has come a long way, but we still need work. We still need a lot of work. Not only Chicago, just the black culture in general. Like, we should be together, not against each other. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of hair you have. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what car you're driving. I don't care what job you have. I don't care what's in your bank account. In today's world, if you have black skin, you should be supporting the mission because you are the one that's going to be affected. You've already been affected. Everybody's still being affected. And let's pull together and try to fix what we can. No, we can't fix the whole world. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is 1% do your part.
Yeah.
It all adds up. You guys see me on Facebook, Instagram a lot, social media, asking for $1, $2, $3, $5 to feed the homeless, to feed anybody for that matter. I don't care if you black or white. People be like, well, what $1 gonna do? You be surprised. That dollar can go with another $6 to get a pack of cheese that's going to make 10 grilled cheeses that's going to put a meal in a baby's belly for the day. So always look at it that way. If you got to give a quarter, give a quarter. You're giving back. Do something to give back to push us forward.
Yeah. Any little thing helps. And we're several hundred years behind in this race. And it's interesting how the term race is used to separate people based on their shades and where they're from. But it really is a race. And every culture, their priority is their people. But for whatever reason, for many reasons, you know, we we can be better for our people. We're not as good for our people as we can be. I feel like we hold ourselves back, and we have the opportunity. And I'm speaking now. I'm speaking on opportunity now, taking it back to 1963 when Dr. King gave that speech. Like what he was fighting for, and what they were trying to change back then was discrimination and segregation, like at the at the on the highest level. And today we're not fighting those same fights necessarily. It looks different, it feels different, and a lot has changed for the better, in my opinion. This is up for debate, of course. But I feel like the playing field has been leveled a little bit more so than it was then. Again, we got a long way to go. And granted, this is a relatively young country. This country was founded in 1776. 250-ish years old. Most kingdoms, most empires,
Yep.
most countries,
Yep.
superpowers around the world have been in existence for hundreds and thousands of years, right? But this country is young, and there's a lot of flaws that this country were built based upon, and a lot of flaws today, just like with a family. No family is perfect, but it's your family. This country ain't perfect. It's my country. It's our
Yep.
country. And it's up to us to make it a more perfect union, a more perfect scenario. So I feel like all of the opportunities for us to be great are available. And it's on us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's on us. It's on us to get our shit together, to do what we need to do to take advantage of those opportunities that are afforded us in this country.
Absolutely. Effort, wanting to want better. I think we lack that in so many communities. Like that's why I always say you keep your network open. You get out, you talk to people in the community. You make new friends. You just don't know what opportunities are available or gonna be at your foot, like just off of conversation. Networking is very, very important, especially in our culture. It's not easy to trust everybody. I do get that, but at some point you just don't know how an individual can elevate, upgrade your life. And a lot of people don't because of color. A lot of people don't because of clicks and that sort of thing. But I just think you do yourself a disservice. You stay at a certain level, you know, forever, because you're not broadening your mind of just the simple thing of talking to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out and network, communicate, meet new people.
Open your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Get with some of your friends that got businesses. Hey girl, how you do this? How did you get there? Connect. It's called connecting.
Yeah. Like you even look at the way we used to dress back in you know, the early 20th century
Yes.
in the
You've
1900s.
always touched bases on that and always admired that.
Clean.
Like presentable black men looking presentable up to part. I'll let you finish. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry,
No,
yeah.
it's cool. Black men, black women, black children. Like we walked around in suit and tie. Women had, nice dresses on, skirts, blouses. We were presentable. Not saying that the way we move now is not presentable. It's just it looks different now. You know.
Fashion is different for the culture. We keep up with the trending times, but I think what you're trying to say is keep yourself up.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to say is that too, but I'm just comparing the way we presented
Okay.
ourselves and the way we carry. Yeah.
Yeah.
The- See, this
Look
is
at
this
me.
is the
Look
this is
at
the interesting thing
me.
about doing a podcast with your spouse because she's in my head. She thinks she knows what I'm about to say. So most of the time she
Oh,
does.
I do, honey. Trust me. I told you
Yeah.
this superpower
We
do not
we
play.
we
She do
finish
not play.
we finish each other's question like we finish each other's sentences and we know how each other are feeling. And she's reaching down, telling me to hold on one second, y'all. I gotta get the ice for the champagne.
But really what it is when you look good, you feel good. That's if you're walking around looking, home like you're homeless, that's what you're gonna adapt to.
Yeah. And then you know, you fast forward to today and look how the majority, or at least what's portrayed, because I'm not saying that this is all of us, because you got some clean brothers and sisters out here that when they
Yes.
step out, they step
Yes,
out.
absolutely. It's not
Yeah,
everybody
I'm not painting a broad brush, but I'm just kind of speaking on some of the things I see in
that
society
can
today.
help
Yeah, and
with us.
we don't dress the same, we don't act the same, we don't have the same respect for one another. Generally, from what I've seen in certain circumstances, and then music is
Oh
a great
yeah. Oh yeah.
you know portrait. It kind of paints the picture
Yeah.
of how we carry ourselves, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Music has shaped so many minds out here. I think I've told this story before. I grew up on old school. My mom played nothing but old school from sun up to sundown to all the way around. Motown, Marvin Gaye, Shaka Khan, Luther Vandross, and my favorite of all time,
Alexander
Alexander
O'Neill.
O'Neill.
So hold on now. Y'all I gotta touch on that. Let's put a pin in that and let's touch on that. Let's bookmark that. We gotta touch on
Cheer!
Alexander
Wait,
O'Neill.
let's do a toast
We're
to
gonna toast to
Alexander
Alexander
O'Neill because
O'Neill.
he, man,
Shout out to that
Lord,
brother, because he is a
yeah,
mainstay in the
amazing,
Wells
yeah.
household. You got that? What's is it a Google? Well, we got a Google and Alexa, but what's the one in the kitchen? Is that the Alexa?
It's the Alexa, the
Yeah.
new generation. So
Every morning, every afternoon, every evening. Hey Alexa, play Alexander O'Neill on
yes,
Pandora Radio.
yes.
Like he's a mainstay in the
twenty
Wells
four
residence.
seven. But listen, guys, what I was getting at is that music my mom played was embedded in me. It taught me to be the woman I am today. It like grew me up before my time. It's like Shaka Khan, Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, all of those women raised me, sorta, because they were in my head 24/7. So when I became a woman, I already knew what to do. When I became a wife, I already knew what to do. Yeah, I always tweak myself often on how to be better in those roles. As you know, sister, auntie, all those things. I mean, they come with growth, but those women taught me how to be strong. Like I heard that. So when I listen to the music today, now some of it I like because we love music. Our family, man, if you know anything about Marlon and I, both sides of our family, whether it's gospel, whether it's rap, R&B, I don't care what kind of music, on down from our children, our siblings, we love music. Our house is full of music. We love art. We're those type of people. So when I say this, I just can only imagine how the music today is
Shaping the
shaping the
minds.
minds
Yep.
of our youth in this generation. And you have to look at it. This generation is going to be taking care of us when we become elders. I can't even see that
God
right
help
now.
us.
That's why we teach our kids different. We teach our kids from that era. You know, they got some new age things too. And let me say this, all our children are grown. I refer to them as kids because they'll never be older than me. You know what I mean? So, and that's not even with age, that's with wisdom, you know, where I've
Experience.
been, experience, what have you. We teach them, we keep them grounded in old school music. You like your new school music? That's good too. Country, our son is deeply rooted into country music.
Arkansas.
He's about to be 29 February 26th. Like, he's deeply rooted into country music, but I
They ride in
think
pickup trucks.
I think music shapes the kids, what they're watching on TV, all of that. Like, that's why it's important for us to get in tune with our children and teach them what their blood is made of. Like, the real truth, not what you think they should know. Because like I say, and like I mention all the time, and I'm a product of this. My siblings is a product of this. My mom died with she had three young siblings. She had three young kids, three of my siblings that was solely dependent on her, you know, and I'm glad she taught them how to be upstanding people. My mom died early. My youngest sibling, I believe Precious is what, 25?
5, yeah.
Yeah, my mom died what, 4 or 5 years ago?
2018.
Yeah, something to that nature, but I'm a product of this. They are a product of that. And if it wasn't for my mom teaching them how to, especially Precious. That's my little
She's the
sister
young one.
Precious. She's the youngest one. People don't know this. I have a 25-year-old little sister, and sorry Precious if I got the age wrong. You know everything I have to deal with.
We love
But
you, Precky.
but this is what I'm saying. My mom raised all three of them to be good people, understand where they came from and where they're going. That's important because you're not guaranteed this life to shelter those children. And that's how I teach mine. Be independent. I'm going to tell you when you're right. I'm going to tell you when you're wrong. I'm not trying to be nobody's friend. I am not your friend. I was put on this earth to be your mother. And I'd rather me give you the bad news, me show you the way, than the court system or somebody knocking you upside your head in the street or you being taken advantage of. This music today, we really, really got to do better. It's all good. And like I said, I like some rap music, the beats and this and that, but we talking about somebody, oh, he looking at my coochie, he doing this, he doing that. Like, no,
Yeah,
that's
it's crazy.
distasteful. No way.
Yeah, and I get it. You know, like opportunities for many of us, many people within our communities are limited, and that's like, you know, a path of least resistance. The more bullshit you can put on wax, the quicker you gonna come up. You know, and it's by design. Is by design. You know, all the way up. You know, from the the media outlets, the production companies, the record labels. You know, all of the brands, the sponsorships. Like this country was built on thriving and generating dollars off of the backs of black men and women, and between the way music is being put out, it reminds me of that in many respects. And like I say, it's no disrespect. It's a path of least resistance, and we got to get it
Yes.
how we can get it.
Yes, that's
And
it.
it's all about what you put out, how you carry yourself, you know, because a lot of us, you like look at Jay-Z, you know, he started out, I mean, he wasn't distasteful with his. He was always ahead of his time. You know, he's a
You
smart
gotta,
brother.
you right. You gotta kind of fake it to make it. I
Right.
understand it,
Right.
but real people are dying.
Yeah. It's different now. It's
Yeah,
different now. And the music today, you know, Aaron really like rap beats were just and within rap, within hip hop, it was part of the culture back then and it stayed there for the most part early on. And then it started to morph into, you know, the East Coast West Coast beef, which that was fabricated. You know, that really wasn't a thing until the powers that be created it. And then today, you know, like but now it's like yo ops, you rap about, you know, sliding on the ops and then you talking about either what you've already done or what you about to go do and then when you go do it you're gonna come back on the wax and rap about what you did and then it's a back and forth thing, you know, and then we're just destroying ourselves, you know, either dying or getting locked up and we're putting out this negative image that like Latisha alluded to is getting ingrained in our culture and our people of all walks of life. It ain't just us, and it has a disparate impact on the future.
yes,
You know, so we
for
just have to
sure.
be mindful of that. You know, we all everything is interconnected.
Yep,
We all play a part in the
yep.
bigger picture. So just keep that in mind. You know, but do what you got to do to make it. That's my
But
takeaway
just
there.
don't be out harming anybody. And you guys, especially you grown guys, what you guys are rapping about, think about the people who are in the inner cities, the kids, and they don't have bodyguards and protection and that kind of thing. So be mindful of that. I
Yeah,
think you guys could create a bigger movement, other than, oh, I
death and
slapped that bitch, I
destruction and
fucked that hoe up,
yeah,
I fucked that bitch.
yeah. You know, we there's more shit we could talk about, and it'll sell, and it'll have a bigger impact. You know, and then so you got music in the similarities and differences compared to back then, how we dressed. You know what I mean? How we carried ourselves, like the elderly community back then. There wasn't no walking down the street, you know, with your pants sagging or disrespecting a woman or fighting, you know, in Chicago on the blocks that we grew up in back in the
Oh,
day.
this is huge.
You know what I
This is
mean?
huge because it's so different now.
Yeah, like
It's very, very different because, as Marlon was mentioning before I cut him off,
yeah, she good at cutting me off, ain't she? I'm gonna take a sip to that.
this is what I grew up on. My uncles, they didn't play on the block I grew up on, 64th and Justine. Okay? Block I grew up on, 64th and Justine. Shout out to all. I'm hoping. I know a lot of you are gone on, like Lavelle. Rest in peace. One of my brother's good friends. My brother Dennis, rest in peace. They all from
Rest in
64th
power,
and
Kings.
Justine. Yes, I love you guys dearly. I know I'm forgetting a lot, but just if you listening to this and you from 64th and Justine, man, I'm proud of you just for still being here, just for maintaining. Like my brother Lavelle, they had illnesses that hindered them from being here, but if you still here, you still on 64th and Justine, and I see the work you guys are doing out there, Devon and everybody with the block parties and the foundations, the barbershops, the haircuts, giving little kids cuts and everything. Man, we talked about this. We manifested this, who we are today, because we went through the struggle. We went through hell. But let me tell you, back to respect. These kids have no respect today. Like I was saying, when I grew up, my uncles, they did not play about their block, their community. They kept us safe. They wasn't scared of the youngsters. That's a big deal right now today. All the elders, not my people, but other elders that was out, they called them OGs. I'm just being real here. See, I'm being real here. CLP, we gonna keep it real.
Yep.
You don't like it, you don't like the slang, you don't like the way I speak, you don't like the profanity. This is not the podcast for you, so go ahead on. Bye. We cool. Bye. But listen, my uncles did not play. You came on that block, hey, don't come over here with no shit. They checked on the elderly people. Hey, you need water, you need food, you need this, you need your snow removed, you need salt put down. It was just that you don't see that in today's world. And this is all by design, music, etc.
Yep.
It's not cool to help others. Oh, it's not cool to help your family members. It's not cool to be there for your loved ones because of what everybody else is doing. But you don't even know the struggles of what's going on in those households. People out here going hard to keep their unions and families together, whether they got money or not, whether they live in the hood, whether they live in Peel Hill. At the end of the day, none of that shit is gonna matter. What's gonna matter is sticking together. Cause it's coming. It's coming.
Yep. And that's one area where we can improve at, you know what I mean, like that family unit, that family structure. And there were a
Yeah, we
lot of
just throw each other away. Buy your damaged goods. Buy, get out.
yeah. No, you right,
That
babe.
shit wrong, and it doesn't go well.
Yeah, we got to stick it out, through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there were a lot of forces, against us back in the 60s and the 70s that played a part in intentionally destroying,
Yes,
the family unit
big
within our
time.
communities, destroying our communities in general. So don't get me wrong. I understand. I get it. It's an uphill battle. We behind the power curve, but, we control our own destiny. You know what I'm saying? And, at the base level, taking care of yourself,
Yes.
taking care of your family,
Woo!
taking care of your community,
Yes.
stacking your bread, gaining assets, building generational wealth, educating yourself. Once we have all those things in order, then as a culture, like not just individually, but we have to start individually and then it grows. And then once we get to a point where, all right, we standing on something because we ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of right now. I'm gonna just be straight up with you culturally, big picture. So until we get to that point where we got a foundation to stand on,
Yes.
like a lot of these other coaches out here, then our voices won't be heard. It's just we're just yelling down an empty hallway with nobody listening. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to put our money where our mouth is. We got to hold our people down. We got to hold our families down. And then, that transitions into like politics too. Like that's a big topic that, is top of mind, especially this year, going into this year. You know what I mean? Like everybody's so big on voting and, not saying that it's not important,
It's important to a certain
Yeah.
extent. So we'll get into that too.
Yeah, we maybe not this episode, but because I could go on this. You know what I'm saying?
This is my hubby forte. He don't
Yeah.
he's a businessman, so he don't play around with these type of topics. And as you can see, they hit home for us because we've been grinding. Like I said, we've been grinding from day one, since the day we met each other. Like we ain't always have it, but we always stuck together and made it work, no matter what type of situation we was going through. Because if you know anything about Marlon and I, our hearts are big, and anybody around us, if they really, really know us without agendas, they'll tell you they reach back for everybody. We reach back for everybody. Not saying that they are receptive, because trust me, it's hard reaching back,
Yep.
especially for your family members, because people don't be receptive, and it causes, I'll say this, I'll put it this way: generational family toxic situations hinder families from moving forward. We don't deal that way. We'll reach back for you. If we see you're not capable, we move on. That's just how we are, because we have so much to do, and we have so many people in our circle that want a shot. So we can't spend all our time on you. We got to keep on moving, and we reach back for everybody. I could stand on that.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah, I got some. I got some crazy reach back moves I done made and just been like shot down over like
That
on some real
has
shit.
that
Yeah,
has cost us
yeah,
hundreds of thousands of dollars,
yeah.
just reaching back for people, just trying to help people out that won't even give you a phone call, won't even say, hey girl, how you doing, won't even say, here go $5, won't say, here go $10, won't even say, hey girl, let me take you out to dinner. But you have saved their whole life. You have went hard. My husband and I, we have went so hard for people. They don't even understand it. They look at us as the bad guys because we went hard for them. You have people that turn jealous, envious of you, because they're not mentally capable of accepting who you are and what you bring to the table, and how you sacrifice your shit to help them. It's really, really tough out here, and that was some of Marlon and I 2024 also too. Just be mindful of the people who really, really need help, who
Who are
are
receptive of it also. That's important.
receptive. Be mindful of who is receptive. That meaning they ready for the help. Because just because you ready to help them don't mean that they ready
Ready
to
to receive
accept
that
it,
help.
even though they calling and asking.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure that they are ready. And guess who I learned that from? That particular piece right there, no
Jada
other
Pinkett.
than Jada Pickett.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned from her that I agree on. Anything else I don't. But that when you're helping people, when you're reaching out to help people, you have a good heart, and you like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, girl, I'm gonna put you on, I'm gonna help you with anything, from your union, from getting in school, from helping you with your kids, just being an ear, just providing comfort for that person. Make sure they ready for it, because they don't be ready for it. They don't. And it'll save you a whole lot of time and heartache. And in the state that the world is in now, there's no room for error. People take this life for granted. We don't.
Yeah. No, that's facts, man. That's nothing but facts, But MLK, it's his birthday. It's the king. This is our opportunity to reflect on his dream, his vision,
Yep.
for a more perfect union. and then just kind of reflecting on where we are today, and then who we can become in the next 100 years. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So,
Yep.
and that
And
ties into, that ties into CLP, Changing Lives podcast, our foundation and what we're about. We're about, moving in lockstep with the culture, with the world, with the country, moving each other forward and, doing what we can to make a difference, so
yep, and we laid all this out on the line just to help you guys understand that moving a culture forward is not always easy. You're going to come into some glitches. You're going to come into some setbacks, but think of those ones who really need you, really need your support. That's what I do. People come in my life and they go. I've learned from them, they have learned from me, but I just don't surrender to them. My energy don't surrender to them. I keep going because it's somebody else in line who need my help. That's me.
I
And I,
like
I
that.
also wonder too with this where we just went with this episode, MLK episode. Just we laid all this out so you guys, like I said, can see what we go through on a day-to-day basis. Why you guys, some of you guys think it's all peaches and cream, like we just woke up like this. I tell people all the time, I didn't just wake up like this. I put in hard work for my union. And I'm still putting
You
in work.
still grinding.
But I bring all this up for the black culture to say, do we after this listening to this episode was MLK sacrifice in
Was
vain?
his work in vain? Yeah.
Yeah, like where do we go? It's never too late though. It's never too late to get out and make a difference. You probably think I don't have money, well I don't have the resources. It's a lot you can do without money and with money and the resources. Hit me up. Oh, our
Email.
email address. Give them an
Yeah, so
email back.
email changing lives podcast 35 at gmail.com. Common spelling CHANGINGLIVES podcast PODCAST 35 at gmail.com. We want to hear from y'all, so hit us up. We're also on Instagram at changinglivespodcast.com or
Yep.
.com. No, it's the Changing Lives Podcast. So what
Yep.
is it? What is it? Hashtag or at? I ain't the biggest
No.
on social
It's
media.
just
It's the Changing Lives Podcast. So look us up, the Changing Lives Podcast. You'll find us.
and we'll plug our information here on the podcast and so
Yeah.
you guys have it and send us some emails. Reach out to us some topics you guys want us to elaborate on or get to for future episodes and we're here and I just want to say do your best in life. Do your best. We're talking about future and coming together because we're gonna need it. This coming election is amongst us. Like we need to get together. Help out when you can. Move your culture forward. Show empathy to your family members. Help your family members. Let's move this culture forward. We can do it. We are setting the platform with so many others who are using their platform to get the word out. That's another thing I want to touch bases on is Marlon and I, we created this platform because we felt the need. We felt we are ready. My husband has been grinding from day one. I have been grinding from day one.
Facts.
And we are here to share. We could have tucked our tails and went on, oh, we made it and We don't care, but we do care because we have family members that's still in the struggle.
For real, for
And
real.
I feel like I get a lot of human beings. Oh, I'm a good person. Oh, I did this, I did that. For me, you don't have to tell people that. You show people that.
Mm,
People feel that already. They should be telling you that. If you don't hear that from people that you're a good person, that, oh, thank you for moving the culture forward, thank you for doing this, thank you for doing that, blase Skippy, that means you got work to do on yourself. And that goes for anybody. Like, pay attention to what I'm saying. Like, that goes for anybody. It's always enough room for change. It's never too late. You can start today. Start today with understanding others around you.
mm. And be good stewards. Be good stewards of your family, your children.
Yep.
Lead by example.
Yep.
Be accountable.
Yep. And I
Hold
know
others
it's hard.
accountable.
I know it's so hard because people take advantage of you. You've been hurt. I've been hurt. My husband has been hurt. But we think about the people who are like us that don't have the resources and they cannot advocate for themselves. So that hurt turns into motivation for us. We're never going to stop. No matter what stones people throw at us, no matter what people say about us, I'm holding his hand. I'm going to stick beside him.
I need some snaps for that.
I don't care. I don't care what is going on. I'm going to stick beside him. I'm here. I'm going to stick beside you. No matter what flaws you have. No matter what people say about you. No matter how people look at you, how people view you. I I always felt like it's good in everybody. You just got to reach down and get it. And if you can't, you move on to the next. Move on to the next. It's okay to move on to the next. If people can't see your worth, if people don't know you for how you love, if you've loved people and and that shit was shot down, if you can't go hard for your family, move on. But don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up until you actually feel that in your soul that it's no hope. I mean, no ego driven, no anything. Our culture needs us, especially you adults that's listening to this podcast right now. Once we're done, once this episode is done, once you get done listening, jot down 5 things you've done for the culture. Just even if you're not black, you're white, Hispanic, whatever. Jot down 5 things you've done in the last year to actually move your culture forward. That will tell you if you're a good person or not or who you are.
That's a good vector check. Like it just allows you to check, your situation. Like check the work that you put in. You know, like you said, we all have good in us, and we all, we can push ourselves to be the greatest, the best version of ourselves. And sometimes we fall short. Sometimes we fall short. Life happens, things happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But the beauty,
Blueprints are altered.
yeah, the beauty of it though
Your
is
picket fence is kicked down, but you can always rebuild.
right. That was kind of what I was about to get to. You just took the words out of my mouth. Like, as long as you can get up the next day, as long as you can get up tomorrow, you can start over.
That's
You know,
it.
you got to fret like you fell short because I mean, I fall off the wagon every now and again. You
Yep.
know, what I mean, we all do.
Yep.
But the beauty of it is, you know, as long as you're able to wake up the next day and start fresh, the birds chirping, the sun's shining, the wind's blowing, you know, like, and then the beauty of it with me is I got a strong woman on my side that's gonna help me, get
You
back up
right.
on that saddle,
That's right.
get up on that saddle.
That's
We
right.
need to continue to ride that. You know,
Hey.
that's
Yep.
so
Smooches.
yeah, smooches to that for real, for real. Point I'm trying to make is, you write those things down, and that allows you to check yourself. It don't necessarily mean you a good or a bad person because, all right, I had a few things. I may not have had five, or I ain't have any, but it just allows you to internalize your situation, and then it's up to you, like how you want to move forward from there. So you got your grade, you got your score. So now what you gonna do with it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't care if you got $1 in your bank account. You still worthy of this world, this universe. You're worthy of love. You can help in some type of way. And let's wrap this up. CLP MLK Day.
Hey, shout out
The
to the king.
important yes. Thank you, Martin. We love you, Dr. King. We
Forever and
love you.
always
We love your family. We always grateful. We're blessed and we're gonna keep
carrying the
the
torch.
mission going. I'ma wrap it up. And I hope you guys took something from this episode today, and that's love, and that's pay it forth.
We before we cut out though, like, cause we normally always do like a little sidebar sports type situation, or we haven't really named it yet, and we open to y'all's feedback too. Like what? Because
Yeah.
I know like Latisha, because she's big into psychology and the mind, and I named one of her segments in a future
Yep.
project that may come to fruition. I'm speaking into existence. Tish talk, right?
Yep.
Boom. But well,
Oh,
maybe
Tish Talk is coming,
this talk is
honey.
coming, right? But maybe for changing lives, these last few minutes when we wrap it up is trending topics is a common phrase. Maybe it's tea time or tea talk. Like what's the tea? That's like a talk. That's like a phrase in pop culture. The tea. You know, but until we figure that out,
I
we
wait.
gonna
I
go
was
ahead.
thinking CLP toast
CLP toast.
to introduce our sports segment because we're heavy on sports around here, and I think we're neglecting our sports topics and everything.
Yeah.
So
So maybe it's CLP toast. So this is the CLP toast hour. And we gonna she
CLP
telling me that I'm not
toast.
saying it right. All right.
You said CLP. CLP toast. Okay, we new here. Y'all get it. So yeah, I think we're gonna implement that to our ending segment. And some topics like Super Bowl, all that, we gonna get into that shit like
Heavy.
rapidly right away.
So
Okay,
like,
guys. So yeah, we're gonna go into CLP toast, and we usually, when we're podcasting, we usually have our little drink or whatever our mode
can you
is,
tell?
champagne, and everybody knows I'm a lemon drop girl. Marlon is a gin and tonic
Tonic.
guy.
Little lime.
So he need the little lime twist.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So yeah, let's get into
So what's
our
happening in the
sports.
sports world?
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, he just retired. 24
I
years.
am. I was moved. I woke up out of my sleep at 6. Usually I'm way up before that. If you know me, I'm up. I don't go to sleep at all. But
I don't get
one,
tired. Shout out to Gates.
Stephen A. We watch First Take at 7 on out here on the West Coast. Get Up, Greenie, all them. And I woke up out of my sleep like something gonna go down today.
Mm.
I was really looking for Stephen A. because he went on a rant. He was in his New York. He
Yeah,
was
he
in
went
his
in on
New
this
York.
podcast
He
last
was
night.
in his New York mode last
He was in
night.
his
So,
bag.
I know. So I was like, "Ooh, 6. I missed it. I missed it. Let me get up. Let me get up." And I'm looking at Marcus Spears right now, and I love those dudes. Marcus Spears, Ryan
Ryan Clark.
Clark. If I'm Dominique,
Yeah,
of
Foxworth,
Get Up,
Foxy.
yeah. Stephen A.
And then Dan
Smith.
Orlovsky, like shout out to
Dan
Dan,
is
like
our favorite. Dan
Molly,
Orlowski,
the
Molly,
Queen.
all of you guys. Kimberly Martin.
Mm,
We love all of you guys. I'm a fan, and you guys are a part
part of our
of our
lives, for real, for
household.
real.
Yep. All right, babe. Go ahead.
Bill,
Your
yeah,
turn.
like 24 years. He did his thing. He did his thing out there in Massachusetts. Like 6 championships, mad wins. Did his thing with Tom Brady and the Kraft family. Like it's a bittersweet. I mean, it was time. It was time because these last few years been rough for the Patriots organization and the fan base and the players. Because they hadn't been seeing that level of success that they were so used to seeing. All good things must come to an end, and that's just one of them. You know, I think it was really graceful the way they went out. Like it was, they spent it to where it's all right. They mutually agreed to part ways, and which is fair because he was in the game for so long, and they had a lot of respect for each other, and it was just a classy move. It was the right thing to do, like how they presented it in the media. I do think an interesting topic of conversation with or surrounding this his exit will be Tom Brady and how he how it said that he pushed Tom Brady out, and after he pushed him out because, he had a script, he had a schedule, and Tom no longer fit into that schedule. So he did what he did to get him out. Tom went on to do what he did, and look at the fate of not the Cowboys. Shout out to the Cowboys.
Don't
Dak
even mention the
Prescott.
Cowboys up here.
Like
I'm
you see
telling you
that,
right
you
now.
see America's
Better
teams
not
just
nobody
like
come
they
up here
just slip
talking
off you.
about the Cowboys.
They
I do
just
not. And let me tell you, I love Dak. I am a big supporter of Dak. I think the industry, sports industry, is really, really hard on him. That's because he belongs to a team that puts you in that type of perspective. But the fans,
yeah, that's
don't.
special.
We got a problem.
That's special. That's for sure. But I think that's gonna be an interesting topic of conversation. Like how his fate was was solidified after Tom Brady left, and what came of Tom's legacy when he left, and when he went on to do what he did without the Patriots and Belichick. So interesting talk. So let us know what y'all think. Hit us up, Changing Lives Podcast 35 at gmail.com. Hit us up on
Thank
IG
you
at Changing
guys.
Lives
This was
Podcast.
so
You know what I
great.
mean? And we'll
I
catch you
feel
guys.
so good today
Yeah.
that we're able to be in this position, Marlon and I, my family, to, have this platform to help us and to, you know, um, use our voices to move our culture forward. And thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. Smooches.
Until next time, it's a wrap. We out.